Welcome to our web exclusive. I'm Mike Montecalvo along with Eyewitness News analyst Lieutenant General Reginald Centracchio. We are developing news on the crisis in Syria. This is a very fluid topic, General. We are taping this on Wednesday. Momentum as of this taping right now is building for a military response to Syria's use of alleged chemical weapons on its own people. The UN Security Council, as of right now, has not met yet. Do they have to meet first before anything is done?
I think they certainly have to meet based upon what the United Nations task force will come back and give them as reference to either actually definitive pieces of information that they can say, yes, there was chemicals used, it was this chemical, and it was used by the Assad regime. I think they're waiting for that piece of information before they make any further move.
Well, how difficult is that to find the evidence that they gassed their own people in Damascus?
Well, the evidence that someone was gassed, innocent people, I don't think is very hard. They need to define who did it. You know, was it in fact the Assad regime that actually launched those chemicals, or was it the rebels or some other individual other than the regime itself? That's the sticking point, and they have not made a final decision on that.
You know, it's a simple question, but it's a question that's being asked by a lot of people. Why would the United States get involved in another civil war after what happened in Iraq?
I think it has much to do with whatever happens in Syria will undoubtedly spread, just like the Arab Spring did last year. It will spread if we don't have a hand in that particular thing. And I'm not suggesting at all. In fact, I think it would be a terrible move to bring any boots on the ground there. But we need to make sure that we contain that civil war to Syria and does not get expanded beyond that, because it will undoubtedly involve the United States and our interests somewhere along the line. All
right, you're talking about boots on the ground. We have 4 Navy destroyers. By the way, as of today, Wednesday, they've moved closer now to Syria. They have the capability of just striking from those destroyers and those U.S. Tomahawk missiles, for example, and striking whatever they want.
They can strike within a 30-meter 3-meter area from those destroyers. And the targets they're talking about are those specifically that would have an impact on being able to retaliate or to be able to maybe identify a chemical munition cache, or perhaps some other delivery system that would be able to take those weapons somewhere else. So it's certainly not an area of just launching missiles into Syria to demonstrate that we have the power. There are specific targets that they would be looking to, and the sequence of that depends upon whether in fact you've accomplished what you intend to do with those first several missiles.
All right, if the UN Security Council backs this move, the United States goes forward with this, are you looking for a couple of days of strikes? Because I can't imagine it's just going to be one day of hitting those buildings.
Well, I think keep in mind now, you know, France as well as England as well as the United States are all poised to be able to do this. I don't believe at this juncture it would be just the United States effort at this point. So I think you'd see perhaps a 3-nation or maybe perhaps more. And it depends really what the United Nations eventually comes up with as to how many nations would actually be involved in this should they make the decision. Keeping in mind, whatever they do, Russia has a veto. So we're looking at maybe
which they will exercise.
Well, they will obviously exercise that. What we're looking to is if the United Nations is vetoed by Russia, or the Security Council is experiencing a veto, what do we do? Do we continue to do it? And I think the answer is that we will.
All right, General, here's the response from Russia. They're claiming that if there is a move that's going to be made here, a very grave violation of international law. China is also chiming in here. They're saying that we should refrain from hasty armed intervention. So basically they're saying do not do this.
They're saying that right now without United Nations resolution or some kind of word from the United Nations. And from their point of view, they're perhaps looking at it that they are right. Even if the United Nations says we should go in, I still think you're going to see a veto by Russia, because that's obviously Syria's ally, so to speak.
All right, we're running out of time. A timetable here, General, of what you think is going to happen over the next week or so?
I think over the next several days you'll see something, and it's really dependent upon what that team comes back and tells the United Nations as to what the United Nations will come up with and what resolution they'll come up with, as well as what we'll experience from Russia as well as China.
Yes or no? Senator McCain saying give weapons to the resistance movement. Yes
Absolutely
or no?
Not. No.
Okay. General Centracchio, thank you for your thoughts. Of course, we're going to continue to follow this story as we move on.